Hvor gjorde du min lader på?
Den ligger på sofaen.
Er folk på?
Ikke nu.
Oh, working on it.
And you're live. There we go. All right. So, welcome. Oh, hey, we already got some people in the chat. All right, just a sec. Just gonna fix this a little bit so that there we go. Both in the frame. All right. Hi guys, and welcome to our live stream session here, talking about games. And just to clarify, of course, it's video games, not like board games or something. But unless you wanna delve into board games as well, but I think I think we're gonna stick to video games in this one. And the way it's gonna, the way it's gonna work is how it usually works. We are gonna be talking just the talking points that we've prepared. They're mostly about the games that we've played, our relationship to video games and in general, what we grew up playing maybe, and what we're playing now. And then we also want to kick it over to you guys. So please feel free to ask us any question you would like to ask us about video games. And the way that you can do that and make sure that we get to your question is if you submit it through Streamlabs. There is a link down in the description that will take you directly to Streamlabs, where you can then ask a question or submit a comment or anything, and that way you can also kind of dictate the conversation a little bit and get us to talk about some of the stuff that you would like us to talk about, or you would want to hear our opinion on a certain game or something. So yeah, now that we got all the
Hi, Mama.
Oh yeah, my mom is in the chat. So now that we got all that stuff out of the way, I think we can just kind of get into what this stream is about: video games. And hi to everybody who is following along in the chat right now. Let's talk about Settlers of Catan. Yeah, no. All right, as we said, video games. So we recently started something very video game related on our channel, which we are having so much fun doing. Really, it's we're doing our gaming streams, live streams over on our Twitch channel. And Kat, she started playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and I started playing God of War, the newest God of War. And we are just really enjoying being able to do something like that live with you guys. And yeah, so kind of like this, but then doing something as well, and reacting to some stuff while we are talking to you guys. And it's just a whole new way of doing this and interacting, and yeah, we're loving it so far. And once this stream is over, it's probably not going to be as long as the previous 3 streams. They were all around 2.5 hours or something. I don't know if we're going to be able to talk about video games for 2.5 hours, but maybe an hour or something, an hour and a half, and then we'll jump over to Twitch afterwards and start streaming. But we'll get to that towards the end, because we have a question for you guys. So yeah, and as Evil Chipmunk just posted in the chat, our Twitch account, twitch.tv/catsonny. That's where we are doing our gaming streams. Yes, but I've talked plenty now, so maybe just to start this conversation, and as I said at the start, you can join in and ask us any questions or post a comment if you would like. But maybe if you want to start with what was I know you came maybe a little late to the video game party compared to me in your life, but what was the first video game that you remember playing and being fond of as well?
I played a lot of games as a kid, kid games. And a lot of stuff I don't remember, but I think the absolute first one I remember actually playing was, I think it was called Ski or Die.
Ski or Die?
Yeah.
All right. And was that for a console or a?
We played it on a computer, so it
okay,
was,
yeah.
I'm not sure whether it was one or the other, but I think it was made for computer, and it was like it was a game with a lot of small mini games, and where you had to do different ski stuff. Like you could do like a ramp with a snowboard, and then you could like make like tricks, and you had to land the tricks, and then you would get.
I've played like similar games. I think there's a lot of sports games out there, of course, with something like skiing, snowboarding, and then of course the very popular ones like FIFA and NFL, whatever. Yeah, American. Yeah, there's a lot of that, and as you can already hear, we're not experts on that because we don't really play a lot of sports games. So if you're here to see if we're going to talk about FIFA or something, then that's probably not going to happen. Sorry, we're not big sports enthusiasts, not playing or watching. So it's probably mostly like fantasy sci-fi, just the same as with the stuff that we're watching. But yeah, so that was like one of your first experiences.
It was the first I can actually remember what it was, and yeah, because there was a lot of small games you could rent or borrow on the library. In the library. And
okay, like in an actual library. I don't know if that's a thing like over like anywhere else in the world. I imagine it is, that you can like rent games and movies and stuff at a library just as you can rent a book. But yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so there's a lot of those small games that I can't really remember. And the second one was what I got a little teeny tiny bit older, and I played something called Pandemonium. And I played it as a very small kid. I think it was something my brother had lying around. Oh, and Commander Keen, the fourth one. I'm sorry, I just remembered Commander Keen. I had it on a floppy disk, so it was really old.
Really old. All right, we're back to the floppy disk stage. Yeah, I remember the floppy disks as well from when I tried. I think possibly like one of the very first games I ever tried, and I don't know if this is like, if you can call this good parenting or not, but I think it was like Doom or Wolfenstein or something on a floppy disk, playing on my dad's PC. That might have been like the very, very first gaming experience I had, I think. So yeah, I'm familiar with the floppy disks too, and for me afterwards, like I've been gaming for the majority of my life, I think, and my first big love when it came to games, that was of course Star Wars games, because that was the first thing I ever watched when I grew up as a kid, I'm pretty sure, and I've just been in love with Star Wars ever since. And there were a lot of good games growing up. I remember playing Dark Forces, one of the first Star Wars shooter games, Dark Forces, and it was kind of based off the same engine as Doom and Wolfenstein, so I was familiar with it. And then from that spawned Jedi Knight, which was like the first game, 3D game really, where you could wield a lightsaber and feel like a Jedi, I remember. And I remember the game came out, and me and my dad, we went down to the store to buy it, and we looked at like the recommended settings or whatever on the back, and found out that no, my dad's computer was not good enough for that game. So what did we do?
Bought a new computer.
We bought a new computer because we just had to play that game, and it's weird to think about, like, just remembering that game and the graphics that that it's compared to nowadays. It's not really good graphics, but it had cinematics in it, like live action cinematics, and that was like some of the first live action Star Wars we got since Return of the Jedi. So that's I remember us like starting the game and watching the live action cinematic with actors and everything, and they were aboard a Star Destroyer, and we were just losing our minds because it was so cool seeing some Star Wars stuff again. And then from Jedi Knight on, I think the next one I played was probably something like Rogue Squadron, and then then we got to, around the time that Episode 1 came out, and then I played The Phantom Menace, the video game, and Pod Racer. That was a great like a racer game as well, like had pretty good mechanics in it and everything. A lot of fond memories with that one. So that was like my initial gaming experience, like getting into gaming, was through Star Wars, of course.
No, we are not using polar bears to get to jobs.
I freaking wish. Riding polar bears?
I hate polar bears.
But I imagine riding like an armored polar bear, something from the Golden Compass.
Yeah.
What's the series called?
His Dark Materials?
His Dark Materials, yes. That's a better adaptation of that whole thing. No polar bears and no penguins anywhere around here. It's not that cold. Sorry. And yeah, I see someone saying Jedi Academy in the chat, and yeah, I'll get to the newer Star Wars games, but we're trying to do it like how we grew up with the games and everything. So chronologically, that's the word I'm looking for. So how about you? Are you you've talked about like you played some games on PC and some of your brother's games maybe and stuff. But when did you like first maybe, buy your own game or like choose like your own game, that sort of sense where you just wanted to play something for yourself? No?
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Is that pretty much? Oh well, you played like League of Legends and the Old Republic. What about that?
Yeah, but it was something I did because somebody else started me on it.
Ah, okay.
So it's not something I bought for myself.
Ah, okay, in that way. So it was still something that you were kind of pulled into, and then.
And that's basically with a lot of it, like, especially when I started gaming. I hate using that word, but when I started playing games myself, it was something. When I actively started doing it, that was something someone else got me into, and I guess I might always have had it in me, but at some point it's just, I was 20 or something when I was really pulled into the world of gaming. So, and I don't like putting labels on myself, so I would never, ever exclaim or just claim that I am a gamer. I would never say that, because I don't like to put myself in...
boxes.
Yeah, I don't want to label myself, especially with that. So. But... there's definitely some more games that I played as a kid, in that like very small kid. And I played something called Rayman. I played something called Bomberman, and what was the last thing? Crash Bandicoot.
Yay!
On my brother's PlayStation.
Yeah.
So it's not always only PC games.
All right, yeah. Same here. As soon as I got a PlayStation, I just remember playing a lot of Crash Bandicoot and a lot of Rayman. I think like.
You played Rayman as well?
Those two in particular I played a lot. The first Rayman is pretty iconic, of course, the side-scroller. Really? And then later on it became like 3D.
I
and
like
it was
that one.
Not as good. I remember, I think like Rayman 2 or 3 I think was pretty decent, and they also had like a Rayman racer game at one point, but you like none of the characters were in like cars or vehicles, so it wasn't a racer game per se. It was more of a running game where you were like trying to outrun other characters from the Rayman universe, which was interesting, and I kind of liked it, but there wasn't a lot of content in it, so it got pretty stale pretty quick.
That reminds me, I actually played something called Wacky Wheels. It's like a race game with very classical, I don't know, 80s, 90s graphic. It was, I think you were supposed to play it on DOSBox or something. And it was these small animal characters in racing, like racing cars, and you could just a little bit like Super Mario Kart, I guess, where you can get like traps or
that I don't know specifically what that genre actually is called, or if it's called anything, the Mario Kart genre. But I also of course, played Mario Kart and then Crash Team Racing because hey, PlayStation. But I also had the Nintendo 64 at that time and played like Super Mario 64 and Pod Racer was on that, Star Wars Pod Racer. And what else? James Bond, of course. One of the first great shooters for consoles, I think. And what else did I really play a lot on? I have a feeling there was something else on Nintendo that I played a lot, but all right, maybe I'll remember. Yeah, Cat is eating something. It's
your mom asking. Yes, it's very good.
Oh yeah. Our mom bought us some very nice bread earlier today, and
it is good.
Yeah, my mom did. All right. So that was kind of like the early era, I would say. But like a lot of classic games there at least, and I think it's also around that time when I was a kid that then I talked about Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, and then Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast came out, and then Jedi Academy, and to me those two are still like some of the best freaking Star Wars games ever, and they had a great story in them as well, especially Outcast. I think Kyle Katarn is just a character that I really liked, and I kind of hope that they're gonna bring him back in some way, in some form, at some point. Not, in the way that we know him from the games, because those are not really canon anymore, because in the first one, Dark Forces, Kyle Katarn is actually the one who gets steals the plans for the Death Star. But now we got a whole movie about that, so that can't really be canon anymore, of course. So that is merely legends. And someone is mentioning Oddworld, Medieval, and Spyro. Yes, I remember those as well. Medieval and Spyro in particular. Spyro I like. Did you ever try Spyro? The little dragon?
I know what Spyro is.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of these big games that I didn't play. Because I've been very repetitive. It's almost been more like a ritual or like a routine thing I did every day, or I did a lot.
Yeah.
So it's I haven't played a lot of games, and especially not the big ones.
Oh well.
So Zelda and Spyro and Super Mario and all that is not something I really grew up with.
No, and I hate to admit it as well. I've never played a Zelda game. I know that is like trying to call myself somewhat of a gaming enthusiast, but not having played Zelda, that might be contradictory. But I'll get to it at some point, playing a Zelda game. And someone else is mentioning Shadows of the Empire. Yes, I played that as well. The game was pretty good, pretty decent. I remember I really liked it, and I was very. As soon as you got to the part where you had to chase and fight Boba Fett and Slave One, that was the coolest thing in a game for me at that point, because love Boba Fett. And it was a pretty cool thing they did with having both the game and the novel and the comic books and everything tie into that one story. So it's like a story stretching across different mediums, and I dug that. I think that was really cool. Not even Breath of the Wild. No, sorry, man. I'm sorry. I haven't even tried that. But I haven't owned a Nintendo console since Nintendo 64. So I haven't really been able to play any Nintendo games, except for back when I had a Game Boy. I guess that's a whole other gaming platform thing we could get into. And I of course played Pokemon. Pokemon Red was the first one I think I got, and then Pokemon Yellow. So yeah, I tried those, tried those as well. But I think that's pretty much it for my Nintendo gaming, I would say. But yeah, let's get into maybe a genre that you are a little bit more familiar with MMO, because that's you played and you've already mentioned it, but the Old Republic.
Yeah, but I thought we were going more chronological.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but then I don't know your chronological
I had some in my teenager.
Okay.
Years.
Well, we can talk about that first, of course.
Because I had my teenage years, and then it was not cool to play video games. But at a certain point, I kind of just had to do it because I was a very bored teenager and very bored child. We lived in the countryside, and it was way out. So there was not really a lot to do, and so I played a lot of also classic Windows games like pinball and solitaire and those card games on the computer. And then I took up Pandemonium again, and I played it a lot. And it was basically my way of, it was almost like therapy, because I just let my mind wander completely. And all things I was going through in my teenage years with, all the heartbreaks, all the fake friends and all that shit going down. It was something that I always, evaluated or worked through while I was actually playing these games, and especially Pandemonium was a big part of it. And I remember that, of course, I always associate music with certain times, but this is where was the time where I started opening up to new music. So there's a lot of rock music that I listened to in my early teens that I connect with the game or associate with the game. DuckTales! Oh my god, I played DuckTales as a kid, a lot.
Oh, nice.
While I listened to weird 90s music that my brother had lying around. How could I have forgotten that? I played a lot of DuckTales.
So it was like a side scroller as well, right?
Like a platform game, yeah.
Yeah, but 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. Nice. Yeah, DuckTales. That's a blast from the past and something we grew up watching as well, of course.
And then I went to boarding school, so that mid-teens, and I played Pokemon for the first time. Played the actual game.
Yeah.
And I just kept on playing it up through the last of my teens.
Yeah.
But the first one, I think it was Pokemon Blue.
Yeah.
That I played at least.
Yeah.
And then I continued with Pokemon Yellow on my computer, because I think that was the original. No, it was a very specific one, because it was following the manga. No, the anime.
Yeah, I think the yellow one was the one where you could get Pikachu.
Yeah, it was, and the 3 starting Pokemon as well.
Yeah, and then before that it was the red and the blue one. At least here in the West, I think back in Japan they also had the green one. I want to say they started with that as well, and they had some earlier versions. They obviously got them before we did. But yeah, Pokemon, that was a big thing in my school, at least, growing up. And I just remember all the guys having Pokemon, and then we traded, and you had to use cables to connect to the other guys, Game Boy, and then trade Pokemon through the cables and everything. Of course, there were no Wi-Fi and nothing like that. And whenever we would do something social gaming, you could call it. Like we would go into the library at the school where they had some computers, and then we could sit down and share like one keyboard and play like some sort of browser game. And then we also went to like internet cafes and played Counter-Strike and Warcraft, of course, because hey, that was just very popular at the time. And I think Battlefield as well, and probably like Unreal Tournament and those shooter games. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, browser games. I did a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
I think we played a lot of, what was it called? Robot Unicorn Attack?
Yeah. We played a lot of Slime, if you remember Slime.
No.
There were a lot of different games, and it was just very, very simple, like these two blobs that would, like, for example, you could play like slime volleyball, and then you had like one slime against the other slime, and then you would kind of like shoot the thing over a net. And yeah, browser games. I think like that thing that doesn't exist anymore at schools, or at least like kids aren't doing that anymore, because they all have their own freaking computer in the form of an iPhone or an iPad, and they're just doing that instead at their own freaking desk.
Yeah.
So yeah, how times have changed, and it isn't even like that many years ago, I think, because we're still relatively young, right? Yeah.
I think I'm very old, so I'm the wrong one to ask.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother also had an Xbox 360 in my mid-teens, so I played a lot on that. That's where my love for Naruto and basically Japan stems from.
Uh-huh.
And so I played a lot of Naruto, and then started actually reading it. And we played like karaoke games, and Burnout. I played a lot of Burnout Takedown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that was before I went to boarding school, but that was something we did with like the guys, like the cool guys, like when we were the oldest in the school. We had like this small area where we could stay unbothered on Fridays in the in the break
room?
No, like
recess.
Yeah, in recess we sat down there and we played Burnout Takedown, and I sat there with all the guys and kind of beat them at it. And it was kind of funny because it was not like a car race game. It was like just destroy the other person, basically, and that was funny.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I see some more, like, people are mentioning some more games and some more Star Wars games as well, of course, and something like Star Wars Battlefront, the first version of Battlefront. I played those on PC and loved them. It was amazing to be able to like play those battles out. On PC or in a game, and the first Battlefront was really great. Battlefront 2, amazing, so many big battles and everything. So I think that that is still some of my like fondest gaming memories are about the Battlefront games.
GTA.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, the first two ones, I actually also played that a lot.
Yeah,
and I think that was very funny.
Yeah, I remember those, like where you were like looking up, like top down play style or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
very different, like before it got to the 3D style that it's in today.
And I'm a little bit, I'm a bit of a hipster maybe, but some of these old games, I preferred the old games because there's just something with the simplicity that I liked more.
It's too the new ones are too, well, they're still very unrealistic, but it's too real in a sense.
In
maybe.
A sense, yeah. Perhaps it was that. I with at least with the first two installments, I knew this was a game.
Yeah, and
it was very clearly.
You
a
maybe
game.
didn't feel bad like mowing innocent people down on the road.
No, because
with
they
a
were just
car.
color blobs.
Yeah, because they didn't really look like people. But like when you're playing something like GTA 5 now, it's like, well, you are like actively running over people and shooting people and everything.
Yeah.
And it's just it's more realistic in that way, and I get that.
Yeah. It was funny mowing down the Elvis fans.
Yeah, I don't remember that
Okay.
that vividly. The first two, at least. I remember playing some of them on PC. Yeah, and I just want to say that one more time, just in case some of you guys haven't heard it, or you probably didn't, since I said it at the very start of the stream. But if you want us to talk about any game in particular, you want our opinion on any game in particular, or if you just want to ask us a question that you want to make sure that we get to it, then you can submit it via Streamlabs, and the link is down in the description. So if you just follow that, and it'll take you to Streamlabs, and then you can post a question, and we will get to it straight away, and we'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about.
And somebody mentioned Motherload, and then I was just thinking, I spent so much time on The Sims. The Sims 2 and 3 in particular. I played that so much.
Yeah.
And my cousin, she was the best at it. She made these horrible schemes where she would take the nanny and put her in a burning building and then let her die in the fire and make people go there afterwards to get scared by her ghost and stuff.
People have done some fucked up things in Sims.
Yeah.
Really,
and it was so funny. I didn't know where she got that creativity, but it was always amazing when she either showed us or told us.
Yeah.
Don't think I was ever as experimental with my playthroughs, but I have played a lot of it. Especially the whole designing part of it is funny. I always liked that. And I always did the Motherload, and that's why I remembered, because Motherload was the way to go.
The way to go. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I was just checking for questions over here. Yeah, nothing yet. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So when are we now, like age-wise?
I think that was it. So now we hit a period of my life where I didn't play that many games. So late teens.
Late teens.
Very late teens.
Very late teens. All right. Well, yeah. I talked a little bit about at one point in my life playing with friends a lot, or starting to play a lot with friends, and that's when at first we started going to like internet cafes, and we played a lot of Counter-Strike, stuff like that. And then I really got into Warcraft 3, and started playing some more strategy games. And I also played, what were they called? Some Star Wars strategy games. It wasn't Battlefield or Battlefront. It was Battle something. I don't quite remember. But they were like based on the same engine, or built in the same engine as Age of Empires, which I also played at one point. But yeah, Warcraft 3, that took a lot of my time back then, and playing, custom games, and that's when Dota first started. It started as a custom game mode in Warcraft 3. Someone, made it by using it was called like the world editor, like a separate program where you could build your own levels, and you could use all of the stuff from the game, from Warcraft 3. And yeah, so we played a lot of that, like me and my friends, and played online, played, Dota and Foodman Wars, if some of you tried that as well. I don't know if any of you have tried Galactic Battleground. Thank you. Someone just posted the name of the Star Wars game. Thank you. Yeah, Galactic Battleground, that was the name of it. I didn't get to try Empire at War. I maybe should have, but it came later, I think. And then, yes, as someone just said, StarCraft. I didn't really play a lot of the first StarCraft, but I played StarCraft 2 when that came out. And then, back then, like when we were playing Warcraft 3, and then that kind of... that we went straight in from that and into World of Warcraft, and that's when that whole fucking craze started. But before that started, I was also playing another MMO, and I just want to take just a couple of minutes to talk about it, because that is really something that is very near and dear to my heart. It's another Star Wars game, and it was called Star Wars Galaxies, and that was the first time I ever really tried, or I saw the potential of playing online with other people and being able to create an online community and meeting people from all over the world. And I remember hearing about it the first time. Like, my uncle started playing it, and he told me and my dad about how he just started the game, and he was on this planet called Corellia, and he was he just met this random guy named Kilani at a spaceport, who then took him to a town that he was like building and everything, and starting a whole new town and with a new guild. And they started talking, and then my uncle, he kind of got me and my dad into playing Star Wars Galaxies, and we just really, really got into it. It was just like a whole family thing, and we had our own, like, in that town we had it was called Votala, and it ended up like we had our own spaceport, our own courthouse, and we had our a tailor shop, an armor shop, a weapon shop, and all sorts of stuff. It was like a real town, a real community. We had like town hall meetings and everything, and it was just like Second Life almost, and you could be whatever you wanted to in that game, except for, well, you could become a Jedi, but that was the hardest thing to do, because then you had to find holocrons, and you had to unlock the holocrons, and it was only the first 3 holocrons that actually told you what to do. The 4th one was just silent, so you just had to guess and do a bunch of stuff until it finally unlocked, and then you could start down the path to become a Jedi. And becoming a Jedi was like even more crazy than just trying to find these holocrons, because becoming a Jedi, that meant, of course, you were going to be way stronger than anyone else in the game, and there are very, very few Jedis. But if you died, I think it was like if you died the 3rd time, then that was it. Your character got deleted, your whole account gone. So there were like bounty hunters after Jedis all the time, and it was like actual players playing bounty hunters and then going after other Jedi, other players. And it was just that whole community and everything. It was beautiful, it was vibrant, it was working. And then came World of Warcraft, and it got so popular that the people behind Star Wars Galaxies, they thought, oh, we have to do something, panic, 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 and they just changed the whole game to be like a Star Wars clone of World of Warcraft, and you can, of course, be a Jedi from the get-go and all of that, and it ruined the whole game, and everybody stopped playing it, and then the game died. So that was just like a whole suicide thing they did there, unfortunately. I think, yeah, it was Sony Online Entertainment. Those were the publishers, and I hope they regret it to this day. But yeah, sorry, rant over. It's just that was so near and dear to my heart, and I really wish that it hadn't died. I know that there are some very cool people out there who are able to like recreate the old version of the game and then start servers again, and then have people join those servers and then be able to play the old version, but there are like very few playing at the moment, and it could be very time consuming if I start playing that game again. So I might not do that, because then I think I might have to wave goodbye to the whole YouTube channel thing, because I'm just gonna dive into that thing. But yeah, that was my first big social gaming experience, and my big MMO experience. But then, of course, I did start World of Warcraft eventually, because everybody else was playing that one. And yeah, you all know that game, so I'm not going to dive too much into that. But I had fun with World of Warcraft. Not as much as Galaxies, but it was fun while it lasted. I had some high-level characters, and then someone hacked my account and deleted them. And then that was kind of it, I guess. That was he made the decision for me. I was to no longer play World of Warcraft. So yeah, sorry, that was a long one.
Yeah. Someone asked me what Naruto game I played. I played the first one, The Rise of a Ninja, by Ubisoft. Now you know. I haven't really taken up any of the other Naruto games. I guess I'm cheap like that. But yeah, that's the one I played, and I played it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Now, at least for me, I'm starting to chronologically move into where I started playing some of the franchises that are still going strong today, kinda. Something like Assassin's Creed. I think that was something I started playing like back when it first came out, like the first one. And you tried it recently, or you tried the second one?
Yeah,
at
I
least.
tried the first of the second one.
Yeah. The first
the
one
Ezio
in
trilogy,
the Ezio Auditore trilogy. Yes. And that was a lot of promise there. I think so as well. And we just started seeing, like, I think at that time it was when PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 came out. I think that's for me where I just saw that gaming kind of exploded more than it already had, at least when it came to console games. That's when I just started to dive more into it. Maybe it might have been like just as big before, but something like Assassin's Creed, and then the first Uncharted as well. Playing that on PlayStation, I remember that pretty clear. But I think something that we can both talk about, and something that I started playing at this point, and then you caught up, or you caught on later on, and that's Mass Effect. And we've been talking about Mass Effect a lot during our Expanse reactions, because there's a lot of stuff, sci-fi tropes that are similar there. So yeah, Mass Effect. That is a big love of ours, gaming wise. And I actually started playing Mass Effect 2 because when that came out, the first Mass Effect, it wasn't available for PlayStation. It was only available for Xbox and PC. And then later on, when they then did the Mass Effect 2 PlayStation version, because that came out like a little bit later than the Xbox and PC version, I think. And then after that, they released, or they did the PlayStation version of Mass Effect 1. But I started with the second one, and I completely fell in love with that world. And just played and replayed it, and all the way up till they released Mass Effect 3, because I was just too much into that world. And the third one then came. I loved it, and loved 99.9% of that game. And then the ending happened, and I kind of like a lot of other people, I got very upset and very, very angry. But yeah, maybe you can talk a little bit more to that, because you then experienced it later on when the outrage had kind of died down, and they had released, the extended ending, if you can call it that. So you got to experience the extended ending at least, and not the stripped down version that we got at first, where it was just like, what the hell are you doing, BioWare? Or what did EA force you to do? Yeah,
I played it. When was it? 2016, I think. Yeah, because that was when we moved in here. I played all 3 installments in 2016. And I finished the third one. I heard about that whole thing with the actual ending was just, you just had to basically just choose a color. And there was no real difference between what you chose.
It was just, do you want the blue ending, the green ending, or the red ending?
Yeah, and I remember, because I was really, really into this game. And of course you can tell, because I am the type that, I guess all of you have seen, that I am very much, I'm really...
You get sucked into
exactly,
the thing.
I have very much, I have troubles completely translating in in a correct way. But
yeah, language barrier. It happens
Yeah,
sometimes, guys. It happens.
but because I'm so involved in this game, I have never ever felt so betrayed. I have never felt so heartbroken. I mean, I've been through some tough shit in my life. I've been through many hurts. But this one almost takes the cake. I have never felt so empty, so shallow, so... I was just... Because it was so great. Like,
yeah, it was
Mass
such
Effect
a great
3 could have been the
experience.
perfect game.
It really could have.
Seriously, it could have been the perfect game.
Yeah.
It was amazing in every little thing. And the way that you could also use online gaming as well. They had this whole side geschäft with...
with
the-
where if you played online and with others, then it was kind of still a part of the story where you would these like special forces going out to fight the Reapers on different planets and stuff. So the more you did that online, the more that would like give you like points
An edge
or
in-
give you an edge in the final battle in the single player game. So that was really cool as well.
Yeah, it was really cool, and the whole setup and everything, and the way that it was just the story and how much that you connect with these characters.
Yes, the
that
emotional
your team
beats
and
in
your
that, like
crew members and
Morden.
and these horrible choices that you had to make.
Yes, the Geth and the freaking Quarian choice, and sorry, I'm just listing up examples.
And then you ended off with this whole big fantastic party, and you see everyone like either as they were, or like you saw them as something new. You saw all these sides you didn't know they had, and I mean, and then that ending. I mean,
as someone just said here, like, to me, Mass Effect ends when you reach the Citadel. I just ignore the last 20 minutes, and I to me, like that, I could ignore all the like the last thing that made sense to me in that ending, or like anything after that point was just downhill for me. But when Harbinger came down and kind of shot the laser beam that knocks you off your feet, and you think that, oh no, nobody made it to the beam, and then you wake up after that, that's where it went wrong for me, because that's when you go up there and there's the whole Star Child thing and everything. And,
but there's definitely things about the ending that I like, but the way that you don't really have any control of the ending. I mean, I have never felt so betrayed. I even though I knew how it ended, like I knew it was just that I couldn't really choose anything because the ending would be the same. Even when I knew that, I still felt. And I'm sorry, I can't really describe. I was heartbroken. I was so empty. I felt empty for days. I was so angry, and because the whole world had already been through this, I just sat there by myself with all this anger and all of this emotion that I had to deal with all of this myself.
Yeah.
And I was just sorry, I can't really express just how much this fucking broke me.
And just the fact that like you've gone through 3 of these games and you've made so many hard decisions, and and if you've done everything right all the way through, and you've like done a complete Paragon playthrough, and you're just the best person in the galaxy, and you've united all the races, you've done everything right, even when you've done all of that, you might have still done nothing. It's still the same outcome. It's the same fucking ending, no matter what. Sorry, I just threw an F-bomb in there, but
I still like certain things about like the ending after you get beamed up to the Star Child. But like the whole scene where you have to go through the Citadel.
Oh yeah, it is haunting and kind of interesting as well. And I do like the elusive man as a character and like what he represented and the weaknesses and everything
and then the whole scene you have with Anderson.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was actually pretty good. But yeah.
So there are definitely things in the last 10 minutes or 20 minutes that was great, I think. But once again, the whole story, the whole plot, how it ended, it was just... And if you want to see someone who's explaining this perfectly, I recommend you to check out Jeremy John's take on this. And the he's actually giving a very reasonable, like an alternate ending that they could have done.
Yes. And I think there are a lot of like alternate endings, and there were even a lot of theories, like the indoctrination theory and everything. That was like the perfect theory, and I think that's the one he talks about as well, isn't it?
I can't remember, but the thing I remember is he just got this wonderful explanation on how we could have an alternate take, or how if and when BioWare actually gets to redo the ending. I'm still really hoping for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold out for that.
This is something that I really think could have been something that really worked. And his whole explanation of like how you could just end this in a certain way, and I can't remember the specifics. I just remember I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought, and that's exactly what I feel like, and. People from BioWare should just check that out and redo the fucking ending. And if I ever get like millions and millions and millions of dollars, if I ever was that lucky to get that rich, I would just donate everything to BioWare just to redo the fucking ending. And I'm sorry I dropped an F-bomb, but I think it was very fitting.
Very worth it, yes. I would like for them, like, if they ever decide to do like a remastered version of the Mass Effect trilogy, and I think that would be a good idea. Now that many like companies are doing remastered versions of games and letting like new or giving the opportunity for newer or younger people to play these games as well, where they might not have tried them if it was like the old versions with the old graphics and everything. Yeah. All right. We have a couple of Streamlabs, so let's get into those. Let's see what we're going to be talking about. Michelle BF donated to us here and asks, hi guys, did you ever try the classic Sierra adventure games? Games like Full Throttle or Gabriel Knight 1 and 2 are worthy for the story alone. And that good old, so bad it's good 90s video game acting. Awesome. No, I actually haven't tried any of those. Damn, I don't know anything about
absolutely not
any of those games. So I would love
there.
to be able to talk about it, but I have no knowledge about it. But at least now that you've told us that these things exist, then we can look it up, because if it has some good story and some so bad it's good acting, then yeah, that could definitely be worth it for the lols. All right, and then we have Andre with another question here. Have you tried any Batman games or maybe other superhero games? Hi from Spain, love you guys. And hi back. Yes, I have played the Arkham games. So yeah, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Arkham Knight. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And yes, I loved those games. The weakest is definitely Arkham Origins. I would say just stick to the original, but I do think there are some good stuff in Origins, especially. It was interesting having other actors or voice actors portray Batman and the Joker as younger versions. I was actually Troy Baker. He voiced the Joker in that one, and not Mark Hamill. But he did an amazing job. Troy Baker did a really good job, because he was kind of doing the Mark Hamill Joker, but just a younger version. So putting his own. So
it worked that way.
It really worked that way around. But in the real trilogy, it's of course Kevin Conroy as Batman and Mark Hamill as the Joker, just as in the animated series. And it seems like it's some of the same people writing the stories and everything, and then they were able to make it even more mature than what they did back in the animated series. And yes, I love those games. Maybe a little bit too much Batmobile in Arkham Knight, but other than that, that one is a beautiful game as well. Like really, really well made. Like the graphics in Arkham Knight, it still holds up like a lot. Really well made.
Yeah, and actually, just to continue on that one.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking when I'm done with Horizon Zero Dawn that perhaps I could start Batman, because I have never tried one of them and I've heard very good stuff about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you have for PS4.
I have Arkham Knight, but correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think there is actually remastered versions of Arkham Asylum and Arkham City as well on PS4. Right? I think so. Because then you would be able to play the entire trilogy.
Yeah, okay. Because there's one of them where there's this whole sequence. Is that Arkham Knight? Well, no, I don't think. There's like a sequence with Scarecrow where you're like in a fear state. Oh,
that's Scarecrow is in the first game. He's characters like all throughout, kind of.
Yeah, of course, he's one of the big ones.
Yeah. But yeah, so but those Scarecrow like realm missions, I think you're talking about scenarios that is in.
It's like a big
Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight.
It's like a big round thing where you have to run around, and then he's like a huge in the middle, and he's trying to.
That's definitely Arkham Asylum, the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really cool.
I think I played the start of that maybe, or you played it, or something like that.
Yes.
Asylum. Yeah. Okay.
Asylum and City. They are both on PS4. So perfect. Now we know what Kat is gonna be going for when she's done with Horizon Zero Dawn. Whenever that's gonna be.
I will definitely start the Arkham games.
Yeah, the Arkham games.
Yeah.
All right. And Andre also asked about other superhero games. Have you tried any other superhero games?
I don't think so.
No? I would love to play the new Spider-Man on PS4, just because I hear the story is amazing. Big open world as well, and it should be real good. Haven't tried it yet. Maybe I'll pick that one up when I'm done with God of War. We'll see. But I've played Infamous, the Infamous games. I know that they're not really based on any like known property like a DC superhero or Marvel, but they were still like superhero games, and I enjoyed them. It was Infamous 1 and 2, and then they had like a spin-off called Infamous Second Son that was really well made, but the story wasn't as compelling as the first one. And I just see a quick question here in the chat, and just have to answer it very quickly. Are you guys excited for Cyberpunk 2077? Yes, we are. Right?
Yes, but I thought we could save that for later.
Yeah, sure. I just saw the question. I just have to say yes, we are excited.
We're looking very much forward to it.
Yeah, and we're gonna be talking about it definitely. We have another Streamlabs, so let's get to that before we move on. Have you guys ever heard of Persona 5? It's a great JRPG with fantastic story, rather dynamic turn-based combat, and great representation of Tokyo, even with little details. I've heard about the Persona games.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried them. I don't think I've ever tried a JRPG, to be frank about that, but I would love to get into one at some point and really be able to dive into like a big JRPG world, because I know there are some amazing ones out there. So yeah, we will definitely look into that. Yeah. All right. And what should we move on to next?
Well, while you were playing Mass Effect, I started my endeavor as a person that games some games. At least. I started with, I was lured into playing Star Wars The Old Republic.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And now we're starting on my, like, when I really started delving into the world of games.
Yeah.
Video games. And this person just sat me in front of the screen and said, I'm just gonna go do something, and why don't you make a character? Then you can use that one, and you can start a playthrough with that one.
Sure.
It's just like Sims, actually. You can design everything, and it's just like, it's Star Wars, but it's like in another realm, or in another timeline, or
yeah. The Old Republic, yes.
Yeah, the Old Republic, yes. So it's like 10,000 years before everything happened, and he said it's just like Sims. And I started designing my character, and I started playing, and I was just. And 2 hours later, he came back and said, I think you've been playing for 2 hours now, so maybe you should not play any longer. And I was just like, no, I've been playing for 15 minutes. I've been playing for 15 minutes. I swear to God. And he was like, no, you've been playing for 2 hours. I couldn't understand. I seriously couldn't understand it. And I played it like many hours a week. No, not a week. A day. I played like every fucking day.
Yeah.
For hours and hours and hours on end.
So that was your first big video game addiction.
Yes. And it was really crazy. And it was like for half a year or something. Yeah. Until he said, sit down. I have a new game you should try. It's just like Sims. You make your own character. And then I wasted so many hours, so many days, so many months and years on Skyrim.
Wasted?
No.
It's time well spent.
Time well spent.
Yes.
It was glorious. It is glorious. So I think Skyrim is definitely one of the games I played the most. Like the most. And I'm really, really looking forward to...
Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
I just read somewhere that they are... Well, the rumors are that they have finally started production on the Elder Scrolls. So maybe we'll see it in like 5 or 6 years. Damn it. But yeah.
Yeah, and they just gave us that single shot from...
Yeah, the Video Game Awards or something. Where they just... I think that was just something they just created so they had something to show and something for people to pick apart, because that's definitely what people did. Like, where in the world are we, and what where is the game gonna take place? Like, okay, so we're not in Skyrim, obviously. So where are we going now? And yeah, it's gonna be really really interesting when that one comes out.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say just how involved I was with Skyrim. At some point, it was around summertime, so there's a lot of flowers around, and I went out. It was a couple of days into Skyrim, I think it was. And then I was walking somewhere and I was going shopping or something like that. And then I saw all these flowers and it was like purple, like lavender. The lavender flowers in Skyrim. And I was walking towards them and thinking, I need to pick these flowers because I need them for my potions. And then it just dawned upon me, like... Wait a minute, I'm in the real world now. I don't need these flowers. And I'm like, that was really embarrassing because I've had very few lucid moments like that. But that one was just like, what did I take? Man, was I tripping out on something? But I was sure I was going towards those flowers because I need them for potions. And that was just the way it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that when you get to that point, that's maybe when you have to take a step back and be like, okay, maybe, just maybe I'm playing a little bit too much of a certain game. Like, I've heard about people playing too much, like Fortnite or Minecraft, like stepping outside and just starting to like whack the trees or something because I need my fucking resources and I need some wood. So, yeah.
I've never done anything like that ever since. And it was very weird for me because I've never done stuff like that. Really?
It's silly, but I love it. And I could especially like see that. Imagine if you had been playing Skyrim in VR all that time, like how your world vision would be Because that like not my first Skyrim experience, but that's how I eventually played through the entirety of Skyrim. I don't think I've done everything in Skyrim. Well, that's you would have to do like multiple playthroughs to experience everything, of course. But the first time I did a playthrough of Skyrim was in VR, and I could imagine like if I had played that as much as you played the original version of Skyrim, then the going out and picking a flower, that might have been like one of the smaller things that might have occurred. I don't know.
That was
Yeah. But at least a lot of good experiences with Skyrim. It's still a great game.
And one funny story.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we have another Streamlabs. Doug is saying, "Hey guys, have you ever played the Red Dead Redemption games? They are probably the most engrossing and touching games I've ever played. P.S. I'm the guy who left that list of music on your music stream. Hope you enjoyed." Oh, nice. Thank you so much. That was real nice of you. I've played Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm not done with Red Dead Redemption 2. I will have to finish it at some point. I'm just doing it on my own time. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be streaming it. Maybe, but I'm like well into the story and everything. It's just so engrossing that I had to just leave it for a little while, otherwise I was just gonna disappear in that world. But yes, I agree with you. Like those games have excellent storytelling and gameplay and like world building, characters and everything. They're just really good, and there's a reason why they are so beloved and they have so much critical acclaim as well, the Red Dead Redemption games. And I think, this is just my opinion, but I think that when it comes to Rockstar and their two big franchises like GTA and Red Dead Redemption, I think Red Dead Redemption is superior to GTA. But it's all a matter of taste. It's just more my thing, I think. That was that one. All right, so now we have talked about Mass Effect, and we've talked about Skyrim, we've talked about the Old Republic, I've talked about Galaxies, Star Wars Galaxies, a little bit of World of Warcraft and that stuff there. So, should we get into some more recent games that we've been playing?
Oh, I can continue if you want.
Oh, sure. By all means.
After, because I played a lot with a specific person, so he also got me hooked on some of the other MMORPGs out there. Also the one who got me hooked on League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we then went from Star Wars The Old Republic and started playing Lord of the Rings Online. It's also an MMORPG. I think you played that one as well.
I didn't really. I tried it. I would rather say, like, I played it for a couple of days. I think, or like a week or two. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I played it a lot. I played it for a couple of months or something. Because as you can probably tell by now, I have a thing where I hyperfixate, and this was one of the things.
Mm.
And then we went on to play something called Rift. That was also a MMORPG that I liked. I really liked it a lot.
Mm.
It was very World of Warcraft-like. I've never played World of Warcraft myself, and I think right now it's too late for me. And I honestly don't think I missed out that much, because I've played a lot of MMORPGs that remind us of, is very similar
yeah.
in setup and everything.
Mm.
And then I also played. Yeah, then I started League of Legends.
Yeah.
I still play that once in a while, but I mainly now, after they started doing the whole, you have missions and quests thing, and then you get like small pieces of rewards, and then you could get skins and stuff like that. So that's so that's of course been ongoing ever since I stopped playing ranked, because people are toxic, and it's probably one of the most toxic substances to man. The League of Legends community. So that's why I just stopped, because I couldn't take all that toxicity and people flaming and being mean just because they were very bad, or everyone else was very bad or something. And it's just like I can't deal with people being unreasonable and childish about stuff, and it really hurts my soul. Because I think that's bullying. That's straight up bullying, and I'm not a fan of that.
I don't think anyone is a fan of that. I hope.
Well, apparently the bullies are, because they're doing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that was the games I played up until I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I introduced you to some more games.
You should it.
Possibly, maybe.
You should.
Yeah. Someone mentioned The Last of Us, and yes, we've both played The Last of Us.
We played like a duo play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And once The Last of Us 2 comes out, we are definitely gonna be playing that and streaming it on Twitch as well. And we're gonna be playing it, both of us. So we're gonna try to do a thing where we're gonna be switching a little bit, and both.
We still don't know how we're gonna do it though.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna be going with like a timer, or like whenever someone dies, or yeah, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out in some way or another. But we're both gonna be present when we're gonna be doing The Last of Us 2 streams. And then just talking about The Last of Us, I just want to mention I did mention Uncharted earlier, but I just want to mention those games again, because those are some of the greatest goddamn single-player games I have ever played. Like, it's just like playing a really, really good adventure movie. And just watching a really good adventure movie where you are controlling the character, and it's the Indiana Jones for a newer audience and a new platform.
Yeah, it was really cool.
In a way, and just the character of Nathan Drake is
Yeah,
so great.
And that's also one of the games you kind of showed me. / we played it together.
Yeah.
Also in this duo thing, I think you played the last game, and then I just looked.
Oh yeah, because when that came out,
that was new. Yeah.
It was new. Yeah, that was totally new for both of us. So yeah, we kind of played that together, or I played a lot. And then you watched, but you did get to do a playthrough by yourself, right? Afterwards. No. Well,
I've never. I didn't go there.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Let me just. Someone said something a little bit.
Great that you like people here. I really hope they're not bullies. And if, please tell me, then I can tell them to stop being bullies.
Yes. No bullying. Someone just mentioned something about BioShock, and I just that's actually one of the games that I introduced you to as well. Well, not the original BioShock, but BioShock Infinite, because that came out around that time as well. I think it was pretty new when I introduced you to that game, or
you had already played it before.
Okay, yeah. And I thought it would be something that you would maybe enjoy, and the story kind of. It's a mindfuck. It's really a mindfuck, that story. But we also kind of enjoy stories like that, as long as it doesn't get too weird. It was like borderline too weird, the BioShock Infinite story. But I still think it was very moving, and it was like one of those game experiences where you're like, wow, that was extremely unique and kind of familiar at the same time. Because, familiar shooting mechanics, it's first-person shooter, but then the whole story aspect of it is so weird and surreal and unique. So yeah, that was pretty nice. That was one of the good ones as well.
Unfortunately, we don't have computers for co-oping Star Wars: The Old Republic, but that could be fun though.
Yeah. That could be a lot of fun. Doing something like that at some point.
Can I just say with the BioShock, I didn't know if you said, but we were talking about you going through the first one as well.
Oh yeah.
And maybe the second one.
Yeah, on streaming on Twitch. That could be fun. Yeah, the original BioShock. Definitely the first one. If there's a remastered version, I think there is, or
I don't know.
Maybe we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. All right. So, what should we move on to now? Have we gotten to the point where we're gonna get into our love for the Witcher games, or when are we gonna open that whole thing?
Oh, well, there's someone in the chat who's been constantly saying Witcher.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't even notice that.
Let's start to unravel this whole deal.
All right. Let's get into The Witcher, which is, I think both of us are in agreement that we think The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, best game ever made, just
ever made,
hands down. It's,
and I've been swearing to Skyrim, as you can probably tell. But after I had my first playthrough, I just had to. At a certain point, I just admitted it. It was like, yeah.
This is just too good.
I have to say, goddamn have to say it, but it's my favorite game of all time. It's the best in the whole world.
Yeah. No other way to put it, but it's to me the way that I got into The Witcher at first. I didn't read the books before I started the games, and just like Mass Effect, I didn't play the first one. So I didn't start with The Witcher, and I think just like Mass Effect, it wasn't available for PlayStation. It was only available for PC, maybe Xbox. I'm not quite sure. Probably Xbox as well. And then later on, Witcher 2 became available for PlayStation just a year or a year and a half after it came out for Xbox and PC. And that's when I first heard of The Witcher. I didn't play it, but then I started seeing, like trailers or like small snippets, teasers, cinematics from The Witcher 3, and it just looked amazing. So I was like, okay, I have to try that, because that looks like just greatest game of all time material right there. I could already see back then, and so I went back and I played The Witcher 2, so that I was ready for when The Witcher 3 came out. And I think I finished it, and then The Witcher 3 came out like a week after or something like that, after I finished the second one. And then I just went straight into that and continued the story.
Yeah, and we just met each other around that time. It was 2015,
Yep.
I remember.
Yep.
And it was some of the first things that you said to me. It was like, yeah, The Witcher 3 is coming out, and I don't know how I'm supposed to make time for it. And yet you went ahead and you played it over the whole summer.
Yeah, I prioritized. Someone would maybe say wrong, and I kind of prioritized playing video games and spending time with you and stuff over my studies. But hey, what can you do? I still graduated, so.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you didn't completely
just spend like 100% of
discard me. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Sorry, it's just I'm really not comfortable sitting on these chairs.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I think it was a year after that, in 2016, that I started playing it.
Yeah.
And that's when I lost it. I played it all through the summer as well.
Yeah. You were very dedicated to.
I remember because we were just moving in here. And I didn't have much to do, and I just lost my way completely. I had, I think that was the year where I was supposed to hand in my bachelor's, and no, that was in 2017. So maybe it was, never mind. I just remember that the screen was over here, and I was just lying on we had like a huge beanbag, and I just remember me lying on that thing and just looking up at this amazingness, this crazy amazingness that is Witcher 3. And it just made such an impact on me. I mean, even though you played it before me, I just got so involved in it that even though I usually gravitate towards somebody asked about this, I usually gravitate towards the games where I can create my own character. I think that's a little bit more fun in a way. But there's just something about Geralt that just sucked me completely into his character and his world, and especially the voice.
The voice
acting,
actor. Yeah.
From I think it was something with Pickles or something. His name.
The guy who's voicing Geralt.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember.
Yeah,
his name,
well, that guy, he's like amazing.
Yeah, he's perfect.
And there's just he had so much character, and I just loved. I loved it so much, and I have so many good things about. I felt so many good things about it, and that whole game.
Yeah. I remember when at first I tried getting you into it, and that was when you were still very much like you were very much a Skyrim girl at that point. And I talked about The Witcher 3, and you asked me, okay, sounds really like, but what about like the main character? Can I create my own character? And then I said, no, you're playing as this guy Geralt, and that's kind of like the main character. So you have to follow him, and like, yeah. So he already has a personality. He's a character already. And you were kind of like, oh man, I want to create my own character. It's not gonna be the same, and
it's
not
in
gonna
third
be
person. It's not in first person.
Yeah, it's not gonna be the same impact or anything like that. And what if I don't like him or I don't identify with him? And well,
needless to say, it happened.
Yeah. That thankfully, like that was not a problem at all. It's very easy to identify with Geralt, I think, and like his character is very likable. So even though he's not customizable, it's or he is customizable to a certain degree, like his hairstyle and his beard and all that. But
wow, that's a lot.
very customizable.
I just wanted to say that. One thing that I also really, really, really associate with the Witcher 3 games is that when you are on the boat on the water, I have a very mild case of thalassophobia. I am not very fond of big bodies of water, and my thalassophobia was like tested with this game. Yeah, the Skellige Isles and everything. I'm still getting the creeps about it, even though I kind of knew what was going. Like, it was never that dangerous. It still really evokes some
sea creatures
really like a primal fear in me, just diving around and all with the boat, sailing around in the boat and stuff. There's just something about that thing. And just me lying there on the floor and having this huge fit of thalassophobia, it was something else.
Yeah. Definitely. It's many good memories from that game. I remember going to Novigrad like for the first time, seeing that city and just how vibrant and alive everything seemed. Like walking down a street, and it seems like people, they have purposes and places to go, and it's just alive. It's a world that is living and breathing and just moving around, and it seems like things are gonna happen like no matter if you're there or not. And that's what I really loved about that game. It's just, it felt so like alive and authentic in a way.
Also the way that your choices really did affect the game and the characters and everything, and that was just
and even though like we've said like many times, we love Mass Effect and great games, but if you look at something like Mass Effect, where of course you can make a lot of decisions in that one, but it can sometimes, especially in Mass Effect, they can be very black and white, or very, Renegade and Paragon. There's the good choice and there's the bad choice, and then there's sort of the in between. Whereas in The Witcher, there were no like clear good or bad choices. There's just choices, and there are gonna be consequences no matter what you choose. Sometimes there are gonna be more bad consequences than good, and sometimes it's gonna be the other way around. But you can never know for sure. So it's more a sense of, okay, what would you do as a person? How would you handle this situation? Not like how do you get like the most amount of points, or how do you get how do you get more Paragon or Renegade points? It's just, what would you do in this situation? And I like that approach as well, where it's way more in a, it's gray. It's all gray.
Yeah. And that when you have played through all of the Wild Hunters, the DLCs, and with Hearts of Stone, no, that's not the one I was...
Blood and Wine?
Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the one. I think that's the best DLC, and I think that's the best plot of the whole game.
That was.
And then you go to Beauclair, right?
Oh yeah.
And everything is just, you talked about vibrancy in Novigrad, but then you get to
Toussaint.
Yeah.
Toussaint. Yeah.
And everything is just colorful as you've never seen it before, and that was just, I mean,
it was that DLC was just like a whole new game in itself. It felt like we just got an extra Witcher game, just almost the same size as the one we just got, which that was bonkers. And then it was CD Projekt Red, and someone asked us in the comments at some point, I don't remember who, but someone asked us something about like, who are your favorite game developers? And I would say CD Projekt Red, just how they are handling their games and handling interaction with the fans, how they're treating their fans, so much respect. And like, so what if their games get delayed and delayed and delayed and then delayed again? I would rather want that than having a game come out like the date it was supposed to come out and then getting like an unfinished game or something like we've seen many times before. EA. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I would say BioWare to a certain degree, because BioWare
until EA bought
exactly,
them.
Yes.
And
I was just about to point that out, because it's like they have made amazing games. I played Star Wars: The Old Republic. I've played the Mass Effect trilogy, and I've heard very good things about Dragon Age.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that one as well. The first one, yeah.
And then they were bought by EA, and then they just screwed up Mass Effect.
Yeah, and now BioShock is kind of...
Was BioShock...
No, not BioShock, sorry. BioWare. They're kind of dead. They're not totally done, but they did the whole... they had the whole Mass Effect Andromeda fiasco, which that definitely did not help them. And then they tried to build a whole new franchise with Anthem, I think it's called, and it looks cool, and I think it plays kind of well as well, but there's pretty much no content in it as far as I've seen, so that was a failure as well, unfortunately. So how the mighty have fallen, because BioShock has given us some great games, and Knights of the Old Republic is something that I've played as well.
That was also BioWare?
That was also BioWare, and that was their one of their first really popular RPGs. It was before Mass Effect. It was what they moved from Knights of the Old Republic and then into to Mass Effect. That was really good. I'm really, really hoping for a remaster of Knights of the Old Republic, because it's been ages since I played that one, and I would love for you to try that.
I know. I've tried to start it. No, I haven't even tried to start it yet, because I'm so afraid of me being scared away because of the bad, or not bad graphics, but from, we're in a time where graphics are crazy. So that game being from 90-something.
Which one?
KOTOR.
Oh, no, it's from 2003, I think.
Yeah, so early 2000s.
Yeah.
The graphics is just something else, and I'm afraid that I can't look past that, because I've tried Morrowind, because I've heard very good things about Morrowind. And I tried that, and it just didn't work for me, because the graphics were not up to par with what you can get today. I just wanted to close off this whole Witcher thing by saying I loved Witcher so much that I played afterwards you said that, well, if you miss Witcher too much, you can always play the second game. I did that in like a week maybe or something. I was so in love with...
Yeah. You played The Witcher 3 first, and then you were just like, I have to go back and watch and play the second one.
No, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, I just played the best game of my life, and I love this, and I don't know what to do, and I really want more. And you said, hey, there's a second game, and I was like, okay, I'm trying that. And then I played through that, and that was very nice. And then I still missed Geralt so much that I had a year where you were working at with your internship.
Yeah.
And I was home alone for like 2 months. And I only had work to do like once a week, and that was it. So I had nothing to do. And I just went like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna start The Witcher. So I read through all of The Witcher except the last half of The Lady in the Lake. And that's why I've been watching... I've been reading Witcher, and I know a lot of Witcher, and I love the Witcher stories, and I love The Witcher. Like, everything about The Witcher, I love it. Even the series. And I know we've got a lot of flack for not necessarily loving everything, because it is an adaptation. But
the TV series?
Yeah, but I think certain things they definitely did well. I'm looking very much forward to the next season.
Yes, I'm looking very much forward to that, and also looking very much forward to, because we know that We know that CD Projekt Red are actually they've renegotiated their deal with the author of the Witcher books. So that hopefully means that we are gonna be getting, we're gonna get The Witcher 4 maybe, or just like another Witcher game like The Witcher 3. That would be amazing, and yeah, we're so open to that. All right, we have some more Streamlabs here. I'm just gonna get to them. All right, Soloasta. Hi guys, have you ever played Worms?
Oh yeah.
If so, what was your favorite weapon? Dr. Evil laugh. Yes, that was one of the games that I at least like played with some of my friends, where we would share a computer and a keyboard. Yeah. And yeah, that was a lot of fun, a lot of silliness. I remember the Hallelujah bomb, or the Holy bomb.
No, Holy hand grenade.
Holy hand grenade, yeah. Hallelujah.
That was probably my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, and then I also very much like the banana bomb, where it would explode, and then it would explode into like several smaller bananas, and then they would like go all over the place and explode even more. And yeah,
I think my favorite might have been the super sheep.
Oh yeah, the sheep as well. Yeah. If you could actually like reach someone with that sheep, that was
it was very hard controlling it, but it was really funny. I don't know why I loved it, but I love that sheep. That's the good memories with Worms. So thank you so much for mentioning that, Celeste. That was a blast from the past. Actually, really?
I hadn't even thought of that. Worms. Wonder if they're gonna like redo Worms at some point.
I think you can actually get it for like iPad or something.
Oh wait, yeah, of course it would be a mobile game now.
Yeah,
of course,
it's perfect for that.
Obviously,
I think they have Worms 3 for
just it's
Angry Birds almost.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. All right, Matt O. Hey guys, speaking of all-time favorite games, my personal one is Halo Reach. There's so many positive things, but if I had to choose one, it would be the soundtrack. I have yet to hear something so beautiful from another series. Hope you enjoy Arkham. Nice. Yeah. And Halo is something I would love to play the Halo games. There's just one problem. I'm a PlayStation guy, so I've never really... Yeah, I didn't really have two consoles, or both of them. I think I had the original Xbox at one point because I wanted a certain Star Wars game for that. Two Star Wars games, and I think those are still the only games I ever bought for the original Xbox. It was Obi-Wan, it was called. It was a game where you played as Obi-Wan. It had some interesting lightsaber mechanics. And then there was sort of, I always called Jedi Starfighter, another game that was it was alright. So yeah, but Halo, I would love to get into Halo. And I've actually heard, like, especially the soundtrack, should be like, I've heard that it's beautiful, really great music and everything. That it's one of the great like sci-fi franchises of the modern era. So should get into that at some point, I think. All right, I think that we are nearing the end of this live stream.
Are we?
No, not that we're ending like right now or something, but we're getting ready to, at some point when there's like nothing else to talk about maybe, or there's no more questions and Streamlabs, then we were just contemplating that since this is a gaming talking about video games, that after we've done this live stream, that we would start a game stream where we can just maybe kind of continue a little bit and keep talking and interacting with you guys while we're playing. So yeah, we're just gonna get ready for that at some point. But if we still have more to talk about here, then of course we're gonna keep going. But I just wanted to mention that we are getting towards the end at some point in like 20-30 minutes maybe. And I also want to mention, just again for the third time during this stream at least, that if you want to make sure that we talk about like a certain game, or if we get to one of your questions, then you can submit one via Streamlabs. The link is down in the description, and then you just follow that link, and then if you do so, then we'll get to that question or that comment straight away, or as soon as we can, and we'll talk about whatever you want us to talk about.
Yeah, I think there was something with game-wise. You have played God of War.
Oh
before,
yeah.
Right?
Yes, I played the original trilogy. So I played God of War 1, and that was a pretty good. Like it was very good for its time. Like a good hack and slash with an interesting story where you're this Kratos guy, and you have to you have to kill the god of war Ares, and that's kind of where it stems from. And then but I think like where it really started to take off, that franchise, that was more or less in God of War 2, because story-wise and just especially gameplay-wise and just the level design and everything they did with that game was really good. And I think a lot of people still prefer God of War 2, just story and gameplay wise, even though the third one was amazing as well, and especially because the graphics and just the set pieces it grew exponentially, and the very creative ways that you kill your enemies, and especially some of these gods and titans and everything. It was some spectacle to watch, and I am looking so much forward to experiencing the rest of God of War, the newest one. I just did my second stream yesterday. Yes, and we'll be sure to post them on YouTube very soon. My God of War playthroughs as well. The first. Sorry, yeah, you want to say that?
I just want to say hi, Robert Plant. Love your name, and sorry I got you into playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I hope you'll love it. And hi, have a good one.
Fair enough.
Please continue.
Yeah, I totally lost it. What was it?
God of War.
Yes, God of War. Yeah, and I was talking. Yeah, gonna post the streams on our YouTube channel as well as videos. There are already like four parts of your playthrough through Horizon Zero Dawn, so you can go and check those out if you would like. And as I said, yeah, God of War is coming up very soon on YouTube as well. So yeah, definitely the God of War games are I think great as well to get into. And I saw some other people thinking or talking about another game that we've played very recently, Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes, and that would actually have been a perfect game to start our gaming live streams with, but we we didn't really think of doing that at the time when we started that game, and I was just so hungry for a good Star Wars single player game, so I just wanted to get into it and just experience the story and everything. And we played that, both of us, like simultaneously actually. Like you started off before I did almost.
Yeah, and then you wanted to finish before me, so
yeah, I kind of just powered through at one point. But yeah, that was actually, I think, a great game. That was made by Respawn Entertainment, who did the Titanfall games, and Apex Legends, of course. And I think that they did. Yeah, I think that might have been like the best like lightsaber mechanics since Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy, and a very good story as well. Some compelling side characters. An interesting, like, they weaved, the story of this the protagonist. Why am I blanking on his name? Cal, right? Yeah. Cal. They weave like his story into the world that we already know, like post Revenge of the Sith, and where the Empire reigns supreme, and we got Sith Inquisitors and everything, and we know them from we know Sith Inquisitors from Rebels. So there were also some tie-ins to some other Star Wars lore and everything, and I just I really enjoyed that one.
Me too. And of course, cute droids. What can I say?
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for cute droids.
That was a very, very cute droid. And that is something that, that Star Wars has always been good at, is giving us some good droid characters. And Fallen Order, that was not a...
Cal Kestis, yeah.
Cal Kestis, that was the one, yes. The Fallen Order, yeah, that was a good one. Good decent story, and a good game, I think.
Yeah, and then somebody asked whether we play PvP. And I told you that I play a lot of League of Legends. And I also, when I was very much into Star Wars The Old Republic, I also did the PvP version, missions in there. But I think that's the extent of PvP that I'm doing, because as I've told you, I really don't like much PvP, because people have a thing where they are very salty, and I often think that the way that they balance the teams, and if you have like the way they balance the teams are usually just so off. But I think that's just the name of the game. So yeah. And you have played some Battle Royale games.
Like, you could say, like, my earliest PvP experiences were, the social gaming stuff with, playing with people while you're in the same room and everything, like, that stuff. And then I played some PvP in, the MMOs that I played in Galaxies. You could kind of, like, if you were a member of the Rebel Alliance faction, then you could, of course... go PvP against the players who chose to be members of the Empire. And then in World of Warcraft, there was the whole PvP aspect of that as well. You could even choose PvP servers. And I, of course, also played some player versus player stuff in Warcraft 3, but I never really got into multiplayer until the recent years. And I started with... the newer version of Battlefront 2, actually, started playing multiplayer there at first, because I really liked that game. I started with the newest version of Battlefront, just Battlefront, the first one, because I wanted to play it, and there were no like single player campaign in that one. It was just pure multiplayer. Yeah. So if you wanted to play Star Wars Battlefront from 2015, I believe it came out, then you just had to play multiplayer. So that's what I did, and I actually got pretty decent at it. And then the second one came out, I shifted to that, played it for a while. I thought I was doing pretty well, pretty decent. And then I started playing Battle Royale games, and then I learned that no, I'm not good at shooter games or PvP at all. I really have to practice. So I practiced playing some more PvP with my friends online, playing Fortnite at first, and then we moved to Apex Legends, and we're still playing some Apex here and there, and then we also started playing Warzone, and I think that's it. So yeah, recently it's mostly Battle Royale, and there's I did like one quick stream on Twitch where I played some Apex with some of you guys watching and listening in. So yeah.
Yeah, I just forgot one game that I have been playing a lot and I haven't been talking about. It's the Fallout games.
Oh yeah, the Fallout games. There's a whole franchise we haven't gotten into. Yeah.
Yeah, I've played a lot of both 3, 4, and New Vegas, and I still haven't gone through the whole plot of both the fourth installment and New Vegas. So no spoilers.
Yeah.
Except that I have gotten the spoiler for Fallout 4, unfortunately. So
okay. Well, I hear New Vegas is supposedly the best one.
What the fuck is going on?
It's because there's stuff on the chair that you are putting your feet up on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really love Fallout. It's like a post-apocalyptic version of Skyrim. At least that's how it was branded to me, or like was sold to me. And I love it. But I still haven't gotten into that full hyperfixation mode that I have been with some of the other games I've played, unfortunately. And especially with the fourth game, I really like the game mechanics. I really love the whole exploration part of it, but the problem is there are so many enemies all the time.
Yeah.
And even though I got pretty badass and got some really nice weapons, and I got that where you can like flash towards like a melee attack where you flash towards an enemy and then just one hit them, I still think it's so annoying that you have to stop up every time there is a enemy before you can actually reach a new place. And I'm struggling a lot from that. But
yeah, I had the same issue because I played Fallout 3 a couple of times, and I really enjoyed that games and then some of the DLCs that came with it. Didn't get around to play New Vegas. I don't know why I didn't get into it at the time. For some reason, I remember when it came out, I thought it was just like, why they haven't even like upgraded the graphics or anything? Is this just a DLC? Is it a full game even? Why aren't they calling it Fallout 4? Like it must be like a not a very good game since they don't want to call it Fallout 4. So I was just totally wrong at that point because as I said, supposedly it's the best one. But I played Fallout 3, liked it, and then I tried playing Fallout 4, but the issue that you have with there being too many enemies all the time, you can't just go out and just enjoy exploring and look at the scenery without getting freaking attacked all the time. Like, I didn't enjoy that. It was just pacing wise, that's not for me. I really want to take my time and be able to explore and enjoy and just one step at a time.
But the first time you meet a Deathclaw is gonna be one of the biggest shocks of your life. I think it was. I remember somebody saying, "Okay, you'll know when you ever see one, because you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is this? How is it coming closer? Oh, how it's so fast, and the next second it's ripping off your arms." So it's just like the first time is very scary and it's very funny. I like the Fallout games and still like it a lot, and I should probably get to a playthrough sometime soon. Maybe. But I feel I have so many games where I've left.
There are a lot of games
halfway through it, especially with Assassin's Creed. I was really loving it. The first installment of the Ezio trilogy. And then I got to a point where I just couldn't get past it. And even how much I tried, I just got mad, and it was just I couldn't get past that point.
Yeah, it was too frustrating.
And then I just had to quit because it was just making me angry, and I don't think I can ever get past that point, and I'm very sad about it because I really wanted to know what's going to happen and how we're going to continue from here.
Yeah, and especially because the Assassin's Creed 2. Ezio Auditore trilogy is considered some of the best in that franchise. I would say, like story-wise at least. Especially Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood are really, really good. And yeah, I played the Assassin's Creed games as well, but I stopped playing them after Assassin's Creed 4, I think. Yeah, that was the last one I played. The one where it was basically just a pirate game. It's like not really an assassin game anymore. It's just a pirate game with assassin mechanics, you could say. But I really enjoyed that one. I think that was the game that I enjoyed the most, besides the Ezio trilogy games, the first two at least. And then I remember Assassin's Creed Unity came out, and it just got a lot of like criticism, and like it had some bad mechanics and a lot of bugs and not that much of a compelling story, and so I just kind of lost interest in the whole franchise, and now I feel like it has kind of moved away from me. Like I can't really catch up, or maybe I should just pick up the newest version and try that one. I don't know. But there are so many other games we could get into, as Kat just alluded to. There are so many games we want to play, and I think that's maybe something we could talk about a little bit about here in the end. Is what
we're looking forward to.
Yeah, what are we looking forward to? What do we want to play? Or yeah. So maybe while you start talking about a game that that we're looking forward to, I can just look up some more games, because I just want to make sure that
well, I have 3 games I'm looking very much forward to. They're not out yet, but I'm looking very much forward to them, and that's of course The Last of Us 2 and Cyberpunk 2077. And then of course, way out in the future, it's The Elder Scrolls, the 6th installment.
Yeah.
And that's the things I'm going to drop everything in my hands for.
Yeah. I think that's where we are as well. Like, it's the sort of games where it's not just, we really want to try and we really want to play these games. It's like, no, we want to drop everything and just live in these freaking games for a while, sort of deal. So yeah, it's the same for me. It's, Cyberpunk and Last of Us and Elder Scrolls. Whenever they do if and when they do a sequel to Fallen Order, I'm very much up for that, because I think they're going to be doing more in the Star Wars universe, Respawn.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job there as well. So
yes,
that's going to be great as well.
I think so too. And then I want, like, in games that are out now that I know that I really want to play at some point is Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man. That has... I knew that, like, I wanted to play that one and God of War. Those two were at the top of my list of games that I had to play, and the games that have been out for a little while. And now I've started God of War, so Spider-Man might as well be up next, maybe. Perhaps. It all depends.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't... even though I like horror movies, I don't like horror games. I tried Amnesia, but I didn't even get to the first monster before I started panicking. So I'll probably never ever get into, like, somebody mentioned Resident Evil, and I'm just not ever gonna go there. And it was, I think Slender was a thing as well, and it's just
Slender Man.
And I think Dark Souls might also be one of those installments that are kind of horror-based.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, there's a lot of horror elements in it, but I think that the thing that makes me probably not want to pick up something like Dark Souls is the fact that I don't enjoy the whole trial and error sort of gameplay where you're dying all the time to the same things. And I know there's a lot of, like, satisfaction in, when you finally beat that fucking monster that you've been trying to get past, like, for the past week or something, but that's just not my kind of thing. I like being able to continue the story and just not be stuck in one place for a week. And I've seen a couple of people mention this, but the Final Fantasy VII remake, you've played the demo, right?
No, I
Did you
played
play?
like 10 minutes of it.
Okay.
If that was even.
Oh, I thought you played the whole thing.
No, I didn't.
Okay, well then I might do a quick stream of that because I just really wanna check that one out because I never played the original and I wanna try it before committing to something as big as a Final Fantasy game. So yeah. And just when it comes to horror games in general, that like you were just talking about, I don't think I'm gonna be jumping into a big horror game franchise anytime soon as well. Also because it's not really my thing. I've tried some VR stuff, of course, horror stuff because that it's very. I don't know if it's easy to make horror games for VR, but it's at least it works very well in VR if you want to scare someone because it makes you feel like you're there. So when the PlayStation VR first came out and I wanted to just try a bunch of different small games and just see what it had to offer, the whole thing. I tried some of those like horror games and I was like, nope, that's not for me. And even like playing Skyrim VR and running around down in dungeons sometimes, that can be scary enough, just walking around in the dark and then all of a sudden there's a fucking Draugr just jumping up at you or something. Then yeah. Or like the one thing that always scared me the most, like sorry honey, but the one thing that always scared me the most whenever I jumped back into Skyrim VR was just when I loaded in, or what do you call it, when you like load in the game and then the game world like opens up before you. I turn around and there's my freaking horse, and not just any horse, but Shadowmere with like
Shadowfax?
Shadowmere, yeah, with the black mane and the red glowing eyes, and it was just like right there whenever I just turned around. It was Jesus, stupid horse. Skyrim VR is incredible. If you have a chance to try that, I think the mechanics and everything it's a very good port, and it kind of shows what the VR medium could be capable of. But there's one game that I would freaking love to try in VR, and that's Half-Life Alyx. I just wanted to put that in there, but that's not for PlayStation VR. So whenever I get enough money for a new computer and a Vive and everything, then maybe I can try that. But
I just wanted to round off by saying that horror games make for wonderful reaction videos. I've seen some very funny takes on, especially Slender. It's like these 12 very drunk guys playing Slender, and they're just panicking, and it's just hilarious. And they're kind of like, they have these small subtitles, and I just like, if any of you seen our makeup tutorial. No, but if you've ever seen that one, you know how I like to edit my videos with like small bits and pieces of subtitles, and that's what I'm basing. And that's that video with the 12 drunk guys playing Slender. That's what I'm basing it off on, because I think that's just incredibly funny. And by the way, no, my mom's name is not Birgit.
And neither is my mom's name. So someone asked about that. Quick. Yeah, sorry. When I say I'm just quickly gonna talk about something, it's never quick. I can talk for ages, and I'm sorry if it offends anyone. Very sorry.
I think I don't have any.
I think we've everything we had prepared, and as I said up top, if there's anything you want us to talk about, any questions you want to ask us, then please do so over on Streamlabs. We're just going to be going for 5 minutes more or something. So if you do want to get one last thing in there that you really want us to talk about, then feel free to do so. But otherwise, I think we're gonna try something with the chat here. We're gonna ask them a question, because we mentioned that after when this stream is done and it's over, then we're gonna move over and start another live stream over on our Twitch channel. But the question then is, what do you want to see most? Do you want to see Kat continue Horizon Zero Dawn, or do you want to see me continue God of War? And we thought that the way that we could, do it with you guys in the chat is that if you want to see Kat continue Horizon Zero Dawn, then you will put a capital H in the chat. And if you want to see me continue God of War, then you will put a capital G in the chat. And we'll just see how many of each letter we get of those two. And no hard feelings, whoever wins. Like, we're totally fine. Like, it's just whatever you guys would like to see the most.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but Guadalupe. I just want, we are going to talk about travel next time. I don't know how you knew it, but we are.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually mentioned that we were going to do that, but yeah.
No, so that's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I think so far it looks like
3 on, I think
3 on God of War, and then the rest
1,
on
2, 3. That's not how. 2, 3.
Half and half.
4,
Sorry,
5,
Seth.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12.
All right. Looks like maybe people are up for some Horizon Zero Dawn.
But now all the G's are coming in.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, so
GG.
it's very 50-50. It's really not good.
We had hoped it was going to be more... No, it looks like it's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, I think.
I just feel like it looks so...
Some people are voting twice. Yeah. It's all right. I think what we're going to be doing is Horizon Zero Dawn with me lurking in the background once in a while. If that's okay with you.
Okay, yeah, well, you're doing it anyway. So and you have to give me some payback for yesterday. So.
Oh yeah. Kat was really trying to mess with me on the stream yesterday and just trying to poke me with pillows and stuff like unicorn horn pillows.
Yeah. And that's just, I'm sorry, but I easily get bored, and then it just had to, it had to be Sonny.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. So I think we've decided on we're gonna be starting a stream all over on Twitch, and Kat is gonna be playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and depends on if maybe if you only play for like an hour or something. If you tire after an hour, then maybe I can take over and do some God of War, and then maybe we can end up doing both. Who knows? But we're gonna start out with Horizon Zero Dawn at least.
Yeah. I also played this morning, so I'm probably a little bit tired in regards to playing. So it's probably just gonna be for a short while. Yeah, I think that's it then.
Yeah, we got no more Streamlabs question or anything. I'm just gonna do a refresh real quick just to make sure.
Doesn't look like it. No.
Nope, doesn't look like it. Then yeah,
great.
I think that's it. Then we're just going to say thank you guys so much for joining us for our 5th live stream, and the 4th one talking about a certain subject. The next one we're going to be doing is going to be talking about travels, just anything where, like anywhere where you can travel and go around the world and experience new cultures and everything. So a lot to talk about with that, and there are so many things we can get into. So when we get to that one, we really encourage you guys to submit your questions and everything, so that we can make sure that we talk about some of the stuff that you want to hear and you want to hear us talk about when it comes to in this case, what countries we've been to, or what countries we want to visit, or anything like that, travel destinations. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you as soon as possible. Bye.
Bye.